James Azar here. I'm the host of the CyberHub Podcast. I'm also a Chief Information Security Officer by trade. Thank you all for tuning in to today's episode. We've got a packed one from UPenn confirming data theft in the Oracle EBS wave. That's different from the UPenn hack that we talked about just a few weeks ago. UPenn they're a cyber team, and that university cannot catch a break. Android rushing out zero-day fixes. Shai-Holu 2.0 is poisoning NPM at scale. 40 web bugs are lingering in unsupported gear, and fake Calendly invites are stealing ad accounts. All of that on today's show. So we're going to get into that here in just a moment. But before we get started, there's a tradition here on the show. That tradition is espresso. And last night I took my team out to dinner. Great group of people. Really, really special group. And I ordered an espresso after my dinner, and it came in cold. And this is an upscale restaurant in Atlanta. And I was ticked. How do you serve cold espresso? How long was it waiting there for the waiter to come bring it to the table? Espresso must be served almost immediately within final, like once they get it, they have it in the glass, it's ready to go. Right? As I guess I didn't get to enjoy it, didn't get my night espresso. So today I'm making up for it with this double espresso. Coffee cup cheers. 2 shots today. 2 sips. Everyone knows. I'm kidding. 1 sip. Everyone knows. I'm kidding. I'm not trying to, if you don't like Portnoy, you don't like Portnoy. That's just the rule of thumb. All right. Let's start with the University of Pennsylvania. I love the state of Pennsylvania, just to be very, very, very clear. Pittsburgh, not Philly, is one of my favorite cities in the country. If you have not been to Pittsburgh, it is a definite great city to visit, especially during football season. Great city. All right, so they're now confirming that the Oracle EBS hack also impacted them. They're validating that the threat actors did exfiltrate data by abusing the same Oracle e-business suite vector behind this quarter's extortion spree. Scope includes personnel and vendor information tied to ERP workflows there as well. You can look at exposure of identity, supplier details, and even payment workflow. So you're going to have heightened spear phishing types of attacks there. You might have invoice redirection and procurement fraud. This is coming after, by the way, they had a breach where their alumni information was all stolen too. So you should patch and apply Oracle's emergency EBS fixes if you haven't done so yet. Why? Restrict EBS admin access to VPN and IP allow lists. You should rotate your ERP service accounts, SFTP and API keys, and any saved reports that are exported. You should also rotate those. Add detection for bulk report runs, mass attachment downloads, and even EBS admin user creation will all go a long way there. So keep that in mind. All right, so a recent cyber attack on a crypto exchange in South Korea is now being blamed on North Korea. Authorities are attributing the recent exchange theft to the North Korean operators, consistent with the revenue drive ops model, which is social engineering plus seed phrase theft plus exchange or OTC laundering all together. The news agency in South Korea says government officials are involved in the investigation. It's worth around $30 million worth of crypto that was stolen from Upbeat on Wednesday evening of last week. By Friday, South Korean officials told the news outlet Lazarus was likely involved in the theft based on tactics used to break into the crypto platform and the methods deployed to launder the stolen funds quickly. All losses will be covered by Upbeat. The attack came one day after South Korean's internet giant Navar purchased Duminu for $10 billion. So kind of they're having to deal with that there. Again, anytime you see this type of theft in crypto, it eradicates trust in the process, right? And the North Koreans are very, very successful at it. So if you're in the crypto world, you're on the North Korean radar, and likely the Iranian too. So pay attention to that as well. So Shai-Holu 2.0 exposed over 400,000 developer secrets, 100 of Trojan packages with typo squatting and impersonations, harvested environments, variables, tokens, and SSH keys. Payloads also attempted GitHub exfiltration. I mean, this was significant. This was large at scale. Although just about 10,000 of the exposed secrets were verified as valid, using the open source truffle hog scanning tool. Researchers at WIS say that more than 60% of the leaked NPM tokens were still valid as of December 1st, meaning around 6,000 of these exposed secrets are still valid. No one's rotated those. So Shehulud emerged in mid-September. It compromised 187 NPM packages with a self-propagating payload that identified account tokens using Trufflehog, injected a malicious script into the package, and automatically published them on the platform. The second attack had impacted over 800 packages, but now we're seeing this really reach scale. 30,000 GitHub repositories, where about 70% of those repositories had a contents.json file with GitHub usernames and tokens and even file snapshots. Half of them had the truffle secrets.json file containing trufflehog scan results. 80% of those repositories had the environment.json file with OS info, CI/CD metadata, NPM package metadata, and GitHub credentials. 400 repositories hosted the action secrets.json with GitHub Actions workflow secrets. WIS says all in all, there were around 400,000 exposed secrets that match a known format that may not be valid or usable anymore, but that just shows you the sheer scale of these types of attacks. So as practitioners, your dev workstations, or your CI runners, your cloud account compromise chain, there's lateral risk to even partner repos, you need to pin with log files. Use a private registry mirror, block unvetted publisher in your CI, run org-wide secret scanning. You should be rotating your exposed PATs, cloud keys, and SSH keys. You need to be moving secrets to a vault with short TTL and auto rotation, and an approval list for any IDE extensions and NPM scopes. You need to quarantine machines that touched those listed packages altogether as well. It's a tall task list, but you have to do it. Unless you have a better idea. If you do, put it in the comments. Like, I'm happy to know how you're practicing cyber better. And that's the whole point of the show. All right. We'll move to Android. 2 0 days fixed in the Android December update. Google shipped the monthly Android bulletin, closing 2 actively exploited issues. One was a framework privacy escalation class. One was what WebView Chromium lineage frequently used for drive-bys there. Both of those CVEs are 2025 48633 and 48572. So both of those are actively exploited 0 days. You want to make sure you get these patched up, because guess what? They've already been added to CISA's catalog, warning that they're under attack and urging everyone to fix those ASAP. And again, like, it was released yesterday, and within an hour, it was already in the Kev catalog. So that shows you that. In fact, there was a story that I saw that I haven't found the time to bring it on the show. I should have brought it here. I should have thought about it when I was prepping the show, but I didn't. In Israel, they've now banned Android devices from all military personnel. They can only use iPhones. Well, not all military personnel. I stand corrected. All leadership in the military cannot use Android. This is telling you Israel was in a 2-year war where they went against really some significant Iranian adversaries. So they're now kind of doing their lessons. They're banning Chinese cars from military commanders from getting on base. Like, all Chinese cars can't get on base. There's a lot of Chinese cars in Israel. And now they're banning Android. Just tells you they're making everyone get iPhones. So there's that. 7 additional critical Android vulnerabilities were also patched with this update. Again, a bunch, 4 of those vulnerabilities were affect the Android kernel, and all are elevation of privilege. Those are CVEs 48623, 48624, 48637, and 48638. The 2 other ones impact Qualcomm's closed source components. That's CV 2025 47319 and 47372. So again, make sure if you're using this, you're getting it patched up ASAP. Speaking of Iran, and again, I should have planned this better. This is where I should have spent a little bit more time thinking through the show today. Live lesson here. So Iran is linked to phishing at scale against Israel and Egypt. An Iranian Nexus cluster is running a long game social engineering campaign with credential harvesters and document decoys. Some campaigns use consumer apps like Telegram and Discord for C2 there. The campaign was active from September of 24 to March of 25. The operation primarily targeted organizations in Israel's technology, engineering, local government, educational, and manufacturing sectors, according to researchers at CISA. who uncovered the campaign. The new backdoor called Muddy Viper would have allowed attackers to exfiltrate Windows login credentials and browser data, gather system information, transfer files, and even execute files and shell commands, according to ISA. Muddy Viper shows Muddy Water is aligned with the Ministry of Intelligence and National Security of Iran. Again, part of a longer campaign there. The cyber warfare between Israel and Iran and Russia and Ukraine, absolutely fascinating. And it may have to be an episode I do at the end of this year. Just all of the lessons learned there, because there's a ton. There's a ton. We go back to North Korea, where rent an identity for IT worker. North Korean operators are now recruiting foreign engineers to rent their identities and accounts so DPRK workers can get hired at Western companies through remote positions. The insider risk, sanctions exposure, and even IP theft through this seemingly legitimate hires of contractors is significant. So again, this is part of the North Korea Lazarus group. They're known as famous Kumila or wage mole. They're known for social engineering campaigns, trying to infiltrate Western companies for espionage and revenue generation. They manage to trick recruiters and secure jobs at Fortune 500 companies by leveraging stolen identities and a lot of AI, including deepfake videos, and avoiding appearing on camera during interviews. Another method is to recruit legitimate engineers and convince them to act as figureheads in DPRK agent operations to get remote jobs at targeted company, where they're giving them between 20 to 35% of the contract value just to use their identity. So one of them will pop up on screen, say, yeah, I totally am interested in the job, but they're not really doing the work. Someone else is. They're just a front for it. Warning, you will get found, you will get arrested, you will go to jail. Not worth it. Don't do it. And don't hire someone who doesn't show up on camera. Also, kind of important. We'll move to Ukraine, where hackers there are aligned have hit the Russian aerospace firms. The pro-Ukrainian cyber groups are claiming intrusion and data leaks at Russian aerospace organizations. It's a mix of disruption and hack and leak type of techniques there. Again, Russia and Ukraine are, look, when things escalate, when things hit a peak, it means you're right before a deal. And everything you're doing right now is simply trying to get a better deal before you close it down. So, we were talking about this yesterday, and someone said, he's threatening Europe with war. Russia is not going to war with Europe. Europe is not going to war with Russia, although some folks in Europe would love that. That's not the case. Russia and Ukraine are very close, from what I've been told, to a ceasefire agreement and then a kind of a long-term secession. There's a plan that's being in place. Putin is flexing his muscles one last time. Again, and part of this is cultural. It's kind of internal posturing within Russia, and the cyber warfare will continue for decades to come. Suppliers with Russian exposure may see retaliatory probes. Cross-border contractors are becoming targets of opportunity here in the Ukraine-Russia war. Again, they're using fake job offers, conference invites, and contract updates with documents that exploit outdated Office software on Windows hosts. Once open, the file quality drops a small loader and sets the stage for the main payload. And again, Russia, obviously not having access to any kind of Western tech at the moment, is on its own there trying to run these through. So there's that. We'll move to this Fortinet flaw here that you should be paying attention to. Researchers are noting a critical FortiWeb issue that's persisting in ATA support trains, while supported branches have fixed, like an OS command injection and an authentication bypass. Again, internet-facing WAF compromise that includes rule tampering, credential theft, and even pivots to internal applications. Upgrade to the latest FortiWeb. This is CV 2025-6446 and 2025-58034 are both being exploited in the wild. So get those addressed. And finally, Calendly. Actors are sending realistic meeting invites, spoofing major brands. Landing pages push an OAuth SSO prompt or session verification. That's where they seize your Google and Facebook ad manager access to run scam campaigns using those accounts. Although the threat actors are targeting business ad manager accounts isn't new, the campaign discovered by Push Security is highly targeted with professionally crafted lures that create conditions for high success rates. Again, AI changed the whole game, folks. You go to ChatGPT and generate the email. It'll look spotless. You can go to Claude Code, generate the landing page, spotless, and run it. So Calendly is a legitimate online scheduling platform where the organizers of a meeting sends a link to other parties. It allows recipients to pick an available time slot so you don't have to go back and forth with, when are you free? When are you free? I don't know. I have these dates. Oh, none of those work for me. Do you have anything else? None of that with Calendly. Great service. Service has been abused in the past, but the phishing emails are believed to have been crafted using AI tools impersonating over 75 brands like Louis Vuitton, Lego, MasterCard, and even Uber. And once the victim clicks the link, they're taken to a fake Calendly landing page that presents a CAPTCHA followed by an adversary in the middle phishing page that attempts to steal visitors' Google Workspace login sessions. So pay attention to that. And again, controlling it through browser and controlling the browser security there would go a long way to help mitigate this type of attack. All right, that's it for our show this morning. We'll be back tomorrow, 9 a.m. Eastern, with all the latest. If you haven't gone to cyberhubpodcast.com, go there. You'll find all of our content exclusively there, including the only place where you'll find my Saturday articles and ARR became king. Going right at the subscription model that a lot of cybersecurity vendors are going after, and how it killed and leads to the budget crisis that CISOs are experiencing over the last several years, especially heading into a flat budget year for many, many CISOs. In fact, a lot of the surveys I've seen from some of the largest kind of companies say maybe 10% of CISOs are actually getting a budget increase. Almost everyone else is flat or under. So it just tells you optimization is there and the subscription model is broken, and vendors and security partners should be working with CISOs in order to find a path forward. So there's that. Go check that out, cyberhubpodcast.com. Thank you all for tuning in this morning. Have a great rest of your day, and most importantly, stay cyber safe.
We love feedback, so make sure to connect with us on social media and subscribe to our podcast on your favorite podcast listening platform.